Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our training videos. In this particular one we're going to be looking at problem solving. Now in leadership it has to be said, as in many things, but leadership in particular, the ability to solve a problem is probably one of your most valuable skills. We've looked at other skills in various videos. This particular one is going to focus very specifically on problem solving. Because you see, as a leader, the bigger the problem you solve, the bigger the result and the solution you provide, not only within your organization and to your team, but also in terms of your clients, your customers, your future business. It's all about solving problems. If you're not solving a problem, you're just managing, which is a totally different field from leadership. Now, if you've been following our various training videos, you know the approach. We'd just love you to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe to this particular channel so you receive other videos that we will be sharing. My name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience working across 5 different markets and also within Europe, Middle East and Africa, creating, growing and leading teams within different businesses. So problem solving is key. And I'm going to share with you what I see as 6 specific strategies for you to approach problem solving successfully. Problem solving is not just about dealing with an issue there and then, but it's about leveraging that for you in the future as you continue to grow your leadership skills. So what are those 6 things? I'll just share them with you and then we'll delve a bit further into them. So we're going to go through research, understanding the issue, assembling the team, the stakeholders, we'll talk through that, sharing the love, as I call it, and leveraging the problem. So the first one, let's talk about that. And this is often where leaders fall down. This is where the problem literally exists initially, because leaders often forget or choose not to do the research beforehand. And what do I mean by that? It's about acquiring as much knowledge, information, and data as you possibly can surrounding this problem. It's sort of a due diligence, if you like. You can look at it either on the basis of what you know going into tackling that problem, or what you are given, what information is shared with you. So for example, if a client wants you to address a problem or solve it, or you've just been hired by a business, what they will be doing is probably providing you with information, data, maybe research documents, maybe assessments, maybe reviews, maybe whatever. So you will have to look at all that information which is first gathered. So that's the first stage, is the research is about gathering as much data and information, which could be from people within the organization, and it could be from people outside. It could be your own independent research and gathering of data and information. And remember, this is not just about written documentation. It could be who, so people. Who are the people that you need to acquire knowledge and information from to be able to address that issue? It could be financial. You need to know what the business plan looks like, the budget, the P&L, all those sort of things. It could be anything broader than that as well. But you've got to do, first of all, the research. And after you've done the research, then it filters into this, which is understand the issue. So you've got all this data and information. You then have to say, what is the problem? Try and understand the problem. But again, don't do it from your own theory or your own ideas. You haven't got to that yet. You're still in the stage of, I've got the information, I now need to understand the issue. And the understanding of that issue comes not only from what you're starting to see, but what others are telling you as well. So you'll continue to interact and connect with individuals who can help you to understand what the issue is. Because remember, it may not be short term, it could be historical. So you need historical knowledge and information from those who've been in the business or around the business long enough and before the period you're supposed to be looking at. So that's the second one, understand the issue. Then the third one is assembling the team. Now, this is one where leaders often fall down. We have egos. We believe that we can move mountains on our own. We've been brought in, or we're dealing with or tackling a problem. We feel that we can handle it ourselves, but no. You have to stop and say, who are the key strategic individuals in my company, in my team, or maybe from external consultants, advisors that I need to pull in to help me to really get to the bottom of it. Because you probably don't have a full financial background and the ability to read and understand margins, P&Ls, insurance, all sorts of components that maybe build into the problem that you don't know about. You're not an HR person, so you maybe don't know the subtleties of employment contracts, local laws, international laws, etc. How do they all fit together in order to enable you to come to a solution later on? So assembling the team is really important, and you need to set your ego aside so that that can happen in order to solve the problem. The stakeholders. What do I mean by stakeholders? Well, on the one hand, the stakeholder could be the client. It could be your boss. It could be a shareholder. It could be some other part of the organization. What I mean by that is those who have, if you like, commissioned you, or those who are keen to know the answers to the problem. You have to engage with them. Firstly, what do they want? What is the outcome that you believe they're expecting? They may not know, which is okay. But think about it. If you haven't engaged the stakeholders early enough, and you go through this whole process, and you come out with a solution, and you think, wow, fantastic, I've done it. But maybe you haven't answered the precise question that they wanted to know. But also, through that, what you're doing is you're engaging them. You're sharing with them sound bites or snippets so that they know that you are on track. And you're also subtly demonstrating your skill set, your knowledge, your leadership, your ability. So you want to tap into that and use that to feed off, to make sure you're going in the right direction. But stakeholders are really important, because if it's a project that runs for weeks or maybe months, imagine you get to the end after 3, 4, 6 months. You've solved the problem as you see it, but you've missed a critical piece. Not only does your credibility go down, but you've wasted all that time. So make sure that you feed in and tap in regular updates, communication, understanding who and what the stakeholders may need. And then in this phase between that, my assumption is the problem has been solved or resolved, or you've made the report to whoever. And I talk about share the love. What I mean by share the love is very often our egos are way bigger than they should be. We all need ego as leaders. We need ego to drive us, but the right kind of ego. Often when you've done a report or summary or a presentation, you're standing up there in front of the board or the client and you're communicating the solution to the problem. It's very easy to forget those who, in this assembled team, you haven't cited as being a part of it. You go to the I, me, my solution, as opposed to our solution, our recommendations, my team, how we did it. It's about language, which is very important, because as a leader, you always want to make sure that you embrace those who are in your organization, your team, your company, who have contributed to the solving of the problem. Because 99% of the time, you can't solve a problem on your own. You need external resources and help. So share the love. Show people that you care about what they've done, the contribution they've made, and how important it is to you. Going forward, you would have bought their loyalty. They will be motivated to support and serve you in the future. And then the final one is leverage the problem. So leverage the problem that you have solved. And what I mean by that is, as a leader, you've always got to be looking, assuming that you have a career path or a growth path for your company and your business. You want to see how all these things are going to take you further. And so you leverage the problem through the solution that you've provided. And being very specific about it, what it means is, for example, in my case, I've had the privilege for the majority of my career of being called by headhunters. They called me to look at another company because another company was searching. The other companies were not looking to hire me or anybody else in my position just because they like my good looks, my handsome face, the way I speak. No, they're hiring me as any other hiring to address and solve a problem that exists in that organization. And by so doing, you can leverage your skill in solving the problem by making sure that not only have you got knowledge and clarity about the problem, but also how you solved it. So what was the problem, what was the solution, and what were the steps in between that you took, so that you can communicate that to another company, a client, a new business development, a new business opportunity you're looking at, maybe to your financial institutions. This is what the problem was, this is how we solved it, this is why we're fantastic, or this is why I'm good at what I do as a leader. So you always continue to leverage that. So those are the 6 things. Research, understand the issue, assemble a team, who are the stakeholders, share the love with your team, and leverage the problem. And I'll wrap that up by finishing to say that in one particular company that I joined, I was the 4th managing director in 5 years. So clearly a real problem, a real issue. And I went through exactly those steps before I was hired by that company to ensure that I knew the problem. I'd already done my due diligence and research before we closed the deal and I signed to join. And when I was in the company, I frequently referred to my boss, the CEO, global, in order that he understood what I saw, what the problems might be, and get his input early enough for me to then put together a mix that made sense. I was there, solved the problem, and then I moved on to other pastures. So problem solving is really important. The bigger the problem, the bigger the solution you provide, the greater your credibility and skill set going forward. So if this video has spoken to you, thank you for watching, and I would invite you please to like, share, and if it has resonated sufficiently, stay connected with us and subscribe to the site for when new videos are coming up. So thank you very much.